Mr. Speaker, turning our attention to the cruise berthing, which seems to be opposed by the leader of the opposition, and I don't know who else on the opposition benches, because I do not know to what extent he spoke for the opposition, which is made up of independents and therefore does not have a collective view necessarily. And I did not discern opposition from any other member to the cruise berthing, save the observations about transshipment made by the member from Georgetown Central, but I didn't hear him object to the cruise berthing. So I'm not going to lay that charge at everybody's feet, just at the leader of the opposition. Again, Mr. Speaker, a fundamental difference in perspective of the leader of the opposition and myself and the government I lead. Mr. Speaker, the leader of the opposition seems to operate on the premise that because the cruise numbers are doing well, passenger numbers are doing well now, we should say that's fine and just continue on merrily along our way, and that without intervention will continue to be the case forever and ever. Amen. It would be good, Mr. Speaker, if we could believe that would be fine. Why would the government engage in a controversial project like this? It has taken us 4 years to get to this point, not including the years that your good self spent, Mr. Speaker, when you were leader and premier and Minister of Tourism, and all the years that went before when it was talked about. Why would we engage in all of this if we could simply sit back, fold our arms and say, the numbers are doing really well, let's focus our time, energy, and money on something else where there is less controversy? Mr. Speaker, the reason for that is because the government knows full well, based on, can't even say research, based on representations that have been made to us by the two principal cruise companies, that these numbers will not be sustained, let alone not grow, unless we are able to provide cruise berthing facilities. Cayman is the only port in the entire region at which cruise ships call that does not have cruise berthing. If that doesn't say something to you, you are being deliberately deaf. Mr. Speaker, all of the things that we need for this country and our people, and the constant list of demands from the leader of the opposition and his colleagues, requires funding, requires revenue generation. Employment for our people, economic opportunities for our people. We have to continue to build and to grow these things, Mr. Speaker. They don't happen just because it's Cayman. It happens because of good management, planning, and thought. And so, Mr. Speaker, that is why we are pressing ahead with the cruise berthing. Almost every major speech I give provides an update about this. It's no secret. The country in this House has known for some time we have been reassessing, as we had committed to do, the realignment and repositioning of the cruise piers to minimize dredging. The work on this took some time, and this also influenced the final projected costs. Negotiations with cruise lines continue, but I give this House and this country this solemn undertaking: no cruise piers will be built unless the cruise lines are part of the deal. They must have as much to gain or lose as do the people of these islands. In terms of the financing model, It is expected that the cruise lines will assist with funding and will be repaid over time from income earned by cruise passengers arriving here. If they do not bring the passengers, they do not get paid. Mr. Speaker, we are committed to this. We have to have a guarantee of a minimum throughput of passengers over the life of the financing of this project. We cannot, Mr. Speaker, get to a position where we have to finance the cruise port from other revenue sources, because that means we're going to have to ask our people to cough it up. It's as simple as that. The reason why the deal hasn't gone more quickly than this is because, quite frankly, the cruise lines have been used in Jamaica and in Honduras and anywhere else they've gone to walking in and saying, this is the deal, you want the port, you pay for it. We are not prepared to do that. I don't know where the leader of the opposition got his numbers from. I'm sure he didn't invent them, but there's a great deal of speculation going on. But the reality is that the costings are not complete. And so we are not in a position where we can say to you that the projected cost is going to be this number. And to put out some estimated number on our part is just to continue to add more speculation to what is already speculation.